Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel for you to level up your communication skills, learn the art of public speaking, social skills, and digital content creation to take your message to the world. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about opinions. So if you're new to this channel and you love tips on communication skills, go on and hit the subscribe button right on below. Opinions. Why are opinions such a big problem in today's world? If you think about your biggest fear and you find out the root cause of it, in a lot of occasions it's because you're really afraid of being judged. Think about it. Public speaking, social anxiety, anything that requires you to be bold, a lot of times it's holding you back because you're really worried about other people's opinions or what they're going to think of you. Why is this? Why is this? For us to really understand, we're going to have to take a walk down memory lane and meet up with our ancient ancestors. Picture our ancient ancestors for a second. Just picture them. What would you say was their #1 problem? And you're going to have to use some imagination on this one. If you were to ask me, I would say their #1 problem was being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger or any other animal for that matter. That was their biggest problem. That was their biggest fear. That was what kept them up at night. And if you think about it, if that happened, then they would die. So yes, it's completely reasonable for that to be a problem. But what about opinions? Were opinions a big problem back in those days? If you were to ask me, absolutely. Because if you didn't have the respect of your tribe and you were ostracized from that tribe and you had to handle life by yourself, then guess who has to defend saber-toothed tigers by themselves? You. So back in those days, being ostracized from your tribe was good as a death sentence. So from that list that we were making earlier, opinions are on that list as well. Right below saber-toothed tigers, but it's still on that list. So let's come back to the modern day time. The modern day time was the #1 problem a lot of people face. Caring about other people's opinions too much. But let's break down the context. Back in those days, if you didn't have a tribe, it was good as a death sentence. But in today's day, if you don't have a tribe, is it really as good as a death sentence? Not really. I mean, if you don't have a tribe, you may not be the happiest person, you may not feel energized all the time, you may not have a positive spirit or something like that, but you're not gonna die. I mean, you could always get a house, if you need protection, you could call the cops, you could get a gun. The point is, you won't die if you don't have a tribe. So why the hell are his opinions all the way up here when it should be down or not even on the list? Why is this happening? It's happening because of a lot of reasons, and that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about in today's episode. Opinions, and why it's such a big problem, and is it really smart to not care about opinions at all? Or is it better to learn the art of classifying opinions? If all these stuff sounds interesting to you, we're going to be covering that in today's episode. So if you're excited, go on and hit the like button. So back to the question, why are opinions so on top of the list? It's because in today's era, humans are thinking on a day-by-day basis. Back then, our ancestors were thinking on a day-by-day basis, so we're thinking on a day-by-day basis. Actually, back then, I wouldn't even say our ancestors thought a lot. I'm pretty sure they were going by their gut, their intuition and stuff all the time. In today's era, thinking is evolving, but a lot of people aren't using the thinking process correctly. Rather than projecting their mind forward, they're thinking day by day. For this to really click, I want to give you an example. When I was first starting public speaking, I was thinking about it on a speech-by-speech basis. I remember I thought, okay, if I can speak in front of 10 people with confidence, then I am going to stop caring about their opinions so damn much. And eventually I conquered 10 people. I stopped caring about their opinions so damn much. But eventually I had to move up to 20 people and the same problems came back, like, oh my God, like their opinions, blah, blah, blah. And the same thing again. I was eventually able to speak to 20 people. Now 30 people were a problem. You get the point. The problem was I kept thinking on a speech-by-speech basis. I was thinking way too short term. So opinions seemed colossal. It seemed like a huge problem. But later on, I started to use my mind and started to think forward. I said, yo, Armani, stop thinking speech by speech so much. Rather, think long term. Long term. Armani, you're going to be the best public speaker ever. Ever. Now my mind is thinking way forward. Way forward. And those opinions that seem so big, it seems small now. It seems so small that it went from being on top of my list, very down, if at all, on the list. So what you have to do is you have to be able to think long term. You have to give your mind a new problem to work on. Because here's the thing, your mind is always in the search of problems. And if there is no problem, it's going to start creating problems, aka thinking about other people's opinions way too much. The person who is trying to cure cancer, for example, you think they're caring about other people's opinions so much? No, they're using their mental faculties to really solve this major problem, which is curing cancer. So now opinions are seeming like less of an issue. So what you have to do is you need to focus on a long-term goal. You have to focus on that long-term goal. So by the time opinions become less and less impactful on your life, do you want to stop caring about them as a whole? If you were to ask me, no. When people say, I don't care about other people's opinions at all, I think that could be a little risky, because opinions could be a tool. It could be a tool if you use it correctly. You may be thinking, like, huh? What are you talking about? How is it a tool? Stay with me. So a few episodes ago, I talked about how when I was first going to release a podcast, I thought my podcast was amazing. But eventually I gave it to another person who has been podcasting for a very long time, and they told me that my podcast sucked. They said it was complete shit. At first I was thinking, man, this person's a hater. This person's opinion doesn't mean much. But later on, after listening to the podcast another few times, this person was spot on. This person was 100% right. So if I completely ignored their opinions, then I wouldn't have improved. I wouldn't have been given that gift of awareness. This person's opinion actually helped me in the long run. But other people, like for my Twitter, since my account is growing right now, sometimes I'll write a tweet and say someone writes, man, this tweet is bullshit, bro. Now that right there, that isn't really giving me much feedback. It's just someone talking shit. So that opinion isn't really useful. The first person that was critiquing my podcast gave me a useful opinion. The other person, it didn't give me an opinion that was useful. So ultimately, instead of not caring at all about other people's opinions, you want to learn the art of classifying them. Start gathering opinions and start being able to classify them. Is this opinion going to help me? Should I at least consider this opinion to expand my awareness and possibly think about a new way of handling this situation? Okay, yes, all right, so I'll think about this opinion. Another one, this person is just being mean spirit. There doesn't seem to be any positive intent towards me for me to grow. How about this opinion? I don't care about it too much. Okay, this opinion seems as though it has a good intention, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to help me grow. For example, when I was first starting ArmaniTalks, I had a really good friend, a friend that shows me nothing but love, tell me that, hey Armani, I love you and all, but I don't think ArmaniTalks is a good idea. I don't think people really need to improve their communication skills like that. I think you should focus on something else. This person loves seeing me grow as a human, but this person's opinion in this instance wasn't really helping me grow as a person. It wasn't aligned with my gut and my mind and all of that. So respectfully, I decided not to use that opinion. So you're going to be given a lot of opinions throughout your lives. Every single human being out there, they're going to have a certain level of opinion towards you. But the question is, do you know how to classify them? And you get to classify them when you have that grand goal. You see which opinions are helping you and which ones aren't. And when you're able to classify them, now you're able to use certain opinions as tools to help you level up further and get you closer to that goal. And certain opinions, you're like, it's not a big problem. So it's killing two birds with one stone. One, you're using opinions as tools. Two, opinions which used to be a huge problem, used to have a massive control over your life, is now falling off because you have learned the art of classification. It's huge. And until you learn how to master the art of classifying opinions, your communication skills will never be top tier. Because if you're always talking with hesitancy, people can sense it. People can sense when you're speaking in a certain way to be liked, for approval. That's not how other people want to be spoken to either. When someone's talking to me, I want them to be real. And I know when someone's talking to you, subconsciously, you want them to be real. Because if they're not real, you're never too sure about their intent. But when they're real, that's when you know that they're being confident and they really stand by their words. So in order for you to become a confident communicator, fam, you really gotta stop caring about opinions so much. And this video is giving you the tools to understand how to reframe your mindset to quit caring so much. Remember, at the end of the day, you want to care strategically, but you don't want to let it alter your behaviors, make a coward out of you, make you timid. You don't want all that. So start reframing your mindset and start taking a huge control over your life. Now, if this video helped you, go on and hit the like button and leave me a comment letting me know your thoughts about the video. With that being said, thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube episode, and I'll catch you next time.